The wind moves slow across the high plateau, brushing the silver-green grass like a hand over an old dog. Elias walks behind his goat, the only sound the faint clink of the bell around her neck. Dust rises in small ghosts from his boots. The sun is low, bleeding gold into the cracks of the earth. He is 63, beard gone white at the edges, eyes the color of river stones after rain. Every evening he follows the same path home, but tonight the goat stops. She lowers her head, ears twitching, staring at something half-buried in the dirt. Elias kneels. His fingers find cold metal. A wingtip, bent and black with age, poking up like a broken bone. He brushes away the soil. Letters appear, faded, military, unreadable. His heart gives one hard knock against his ribs. He looks around. Nothing but empty land and sky. The goat nudges him, impatient. Elias stands, wipes his hands on his coat, and follows her deeper into the hollow where the earth drops away. There, half swallowed by a dry gulch, lies the rest of the plane. One wing sheared off, the fuselage cracked open like a seed pod. Vines have grown through the windows. The cockpit glass is spider-webbed but intact. Elias steps closer. His breath fogs in the cooling air. Inside, the pilot's seat is empty, straps hanging loose. On the dashboard, a single photograph is taped. Faded, a woman smiling, a child on her hip. He reaches in. His fingers close around a leather satchel wedged beneath the seat. It is heavy, water-stained, the clasp rusted shut. The goat bleats once, soft as if urging him. Elias carries the satchel to a flat rock. The sky darkens to indigo. He works the clasp with his knife. Inside, a logbook, pages swollen with old rain. A silver compass, glass cracked, and a letter sealed in wax, the imprint a simple cross. He breaks the seal. The paper smells of smoke and cedar. The handwriting is careful, urgent. My name is Captain Thomas Reed. If you are reading this, I did not make it home. The storm came fast. The engine failed over the ridge. I tried to glide her down. There is something I must tell someone, anyone, who finds this. Elias reads by the last light. His lips move without sound. The goat settles beside him, warm against his leg. I was carrying more than mail. In the cargo hold, wrapped in oilskin, is a box. Small, wooden, carved with an old symbol my grandmother taught me means return. Inside is what they will kill for. Gold? No. Something older. Something that belongs to the land. The wind picks up. Pages flutter like trapped birds. Elias turns to the next line. I hid the box before the crash. Follow the goat path to the stone shepherd. Turn left at the 3 junipers. Dig where the shadow falls at noon. Forgive me. I had no choice. Elias looks up. The stars are coming out, sharp as nails. The goat is already moving, bell chiming soft into the dark. He follows. The path is narrow, overgrown. Thorns catch his coat. Somewhere an owl calls. His lantern swings, throwing gold circles on the ground. They reach the stone shepherd, an ancient marker, face worn smooth by centuries of weather. Elias turns left. The junipers stand in a crooked row, needles whispering. He counts his steps. 1, 2, 20. The ground dips. He kneels again, digs with his hands. Soil is cool, damp. His fingers strike wood. The box is small, no bigger than a prayer book. The carving on top is faint. A circle, a line through it, a goat's head. Elias lifts the lid. Inside, wrapped in cloth the color of dried blood, is a single object. He unwraps it slowly. A medallion, bronze gone green, heavy as gilt. On one side, a tree with roots that reach both up and down. On the other, words in a language he does not know, but feels in his bones. The goat lowers her head, touches the medallion with her nose. Elias's eyes fill. He does not know why. He sits back on his heels. The night is vast around him. Somewhere far off, a coyote sings. The letter said more. He returns to the satchel, finds another page tucked inside the logbook. It is a map, hand-drawn, edges burned. A route marked in red from the crash site to a place labeled only with a cross. Beneath it, in the same urgent hand, the treasure is not what you think. It is memory. It is debt. It is the reason the land remembers us. Elias traces the line with a trembling finger. The path leads north, past the old mission, into the mountains where no one goes anymore. He looks at the goat. She stares back, eyes liquid in the lantern light. For the first time in years, Elias feels the pull of something larger than hunger, than sleep, than the slow turning of days. He tucks the medallion into his shirt, against his heart. The box he buries again, marks the spot with a stone. Dawn is a thin line on the horizon. As he walks home, the goat at his side, he whispers to the wind. Not a prayer exactly, more like a promise. I will find it, Thomas Reed, whatever it is. I will carry it the rest of the way. The village is still asleep when he reaches his gate. He hangs the lantern, waters the goat, sits on the step with the letter in his lap. The words glow in the half-dark. He does not sleep. At first light, he packs a small bag, bread, cheese, the compass, the map. He writes a note for his neighbor. Gone to the mountains. Back when the snow comes. Feed the goat. The goat waits by the gate. Bell silent now. Elias shoulders the bag. Together they step onto the road that leads north, dust rising soft behind them. The sun climbs. Heat shimmers off the stones. Elias walks slow, the way old men do when they know the road is long. The medallion warms against his skin. He passes the mission ruins. Adobe walls crumbled, bell tower leaning like a drunk. Inside, frescoes peel from the plaster. Saints with kind eyes, goats at their feet. He pauses, touches the wall. The stone is warm. Beyond the mission, the land rises. Pines appear, dark against the sky. The air smells of resin and high cold. Elias's breath comes shorter. The goat trots ahead, sure-footed. They camp that night beneath a ledge. Elias builds a small fire. He reads the letter again, though he knows it by heart now. The map lies open on his knee. The cross is still far. In the flames he sees shapes. Planes falling, a woman's face, a child's hand reaching. He feeds the fire another stick. Sparks rise like tiny souls. Morning. Mist clings to the pines. The path narrows to a ledge. Below, a river cuts silver through the valley. Elias's knees ache, but he does not stop. At noon they reach a clearing. In the center stands a cairn of stones, old as the mission. Elias circles it. On the north side, a flat rock bears the same symbol as the medallion, tree roots, circle. He kneels. Beneath the rock, a hollow. Inside, another letter, newer paper, sealed with plain wax. His name is written on the front in a hand he does not recognize. His fingers shake as he opens it. Elias, if you are here, you are the one. The pilot was my father. The treasure is not gold. It is the story of what we took from this land, and what we must give back. Follow the river to the cave that sings. I will meet you there. Come alone. Trust the goat. The paper smells of sage. Elias looks up. The goat is already moving, down the slope toward the sound of water. He follows, heart pounding like a drum in an empty church. The river roars below, white with snowmelt. The path hugs the cliff, narrow as faith. Behind him, the mountains rise silent, keeping their secrets. Ahead, the cave mouth waits, black, breathing cool air that smells of stone and time. Elias steps forward. The goat enters first, bell chiming once, then still. He crosses the threshold. Darkness folds around him like wings. The cave is cold, the air heavy with the scent of wet stone. Elias's boots scrape against the uneven floor, each step echoing like a whisper in a forgotten church. The goat moves ahead, her bell a faint pulse in the dark. His lantern casts trembling shadows, jagged shapes that dance like memories not his own. He holds the new letter in his free hand, its words burning in his mind. Come alone. Trust the goat. The handwriting is sharp, deliberate, not like the pilot's urgent scrawl. Elias wonders who wrote it, how they knew his name. His chest tightens, not with fear, but with the weight of something inevitable. The tunnel narrows. Water drips somewhere, a slow rhythm like a heartbeat. The goat stops, ears twitching, and Elias raises the lantern. The light catches a curve in the rock, a carving, faint but deliberate. A tree, roots stretching up and down just like the medallion. Below it, an arrow points deeper in. He hesitates. The air feels alive, pressing against his skin. He touches the medallion beneath his shirt, warm as a living thing. The goat nudges his leg, insistent, and he takes a step forward. The path slopes downward. The walls glisten, slick with moisture. Elias's breath clouds in the chill. He thinks of the pilot, Thomas Reed, alone in his crashing plane, writing that letter as the storm roared. What kind of man carries a secret to his death and trusts a stranger to find it? The cave opens into a wider chamber. The lantern's light barely reaches the far walls. Stalactites hang like frozen prayers, dripping onto a pool below. The water is clear, reflecting the light in ripples that pulse like a living thing. Elias kneels by the pool. His reflection stares back. Old, weathered, eyes wide with something like wonder. The goat drinks, her tongue breaking the surface. Then she lifts her head, looking toward a shadow on the far side of the chamber. He follows her gaze. A narrow ledge runs along the wall, barely wide enough for a man. At its end, a faint glow, not lantern light, but something softer, like moonlight trapped in stone. Elias stands, his knees protesting. He edges along the ledge, one hand against the damp rock for balance. The goat follows, sure-footed, her bell silent now. The glow grows brighter, pulsing faintly, as if breathing. At the end of the ledge, a recess in the wall. Inside, a stone slab, smooth and worn, like an altar. On it rests a single object, a crystal, no larger than a child's fist, glowing with a soft, amber light. It hums, low and steady, a sound that vibrates in Elias's chest. He reaches out, then stops. The letter's words echo. The treasure is not what you think. It is memory. It is debt. He looks at the goat. She watches him, eyes steady, unafraid. He takes the crystal. It is warm, heavier than it looks. The hum grows louder, filling the chamber. The walls seem to shift, shadows moving like figures in a dream. Elias sees flashes. A village burning, hands planting seeds, a woman singing to a child, a plane falling through a storm. He stumbles back, clutching the crystal. The visions fade, but the hum remains, steady as a pulse. The goat bleats, sharp and urgent, pulling him back to the moment. He wraps the crystal in the cloth from the medallion, tucks it into his bag. The chamber feels smaller now, the air thicker. He turns back toward the tunnel, but a sound stops him. A low, distant rumble, like stones shifting deep in the earth. The goat moves first, darting back toward the entrance. Elias follows, heart pounding. The rumble grows louder, dust falling from the ceiling. He runs, lantern swinging wildly, shadows leaping like wolves at his heels. They reach the cave mouth just as the ground trembles. Elias stumbles into the open air, gasping. The river roars below, louder now, as if stirred by the same force. The goat stands beside him, bell chiming softly, as if nothing has happened. He looks back at the cave. The entrance is unchanged, but the air feels different, charged, like the moment before lightning strikes. He pulls the crystal from his bag, unwraps it. The glow is dimmer now, but the hum persists, steady, alive. Elias sits on a flat rock, the river at his back. He unfolds the map again. The cross is still there, unmarked, somewhere farther north. The new letter mentioned a cave that sings, but this cannot be the end. The crystal, the medallion, the letters, they are pieces, not the whole. He thinks of the woman in the photograph, the child on her hip. Were they waiting for Thomas Reed? Did they know what he carried? Elias's fingers trace the medallion's carving. The tree, the roots, the words he cannot read. The sun is setting, painting the mountains red. Elias builds a small fire, the flames licking at the dry wood. He reads the new letter again, though he knows every word. I will meet you there. Who is waiting? And why him, Elias? A man who has spent his life herding goats, asking nothing of the world. The goat curls up beside him, warm and solid. He feeds the fire, watches the sparks rise. The crystal hums in his bag, a sound that feels like a question. Morning comes slow, mist curling through the pines. Elias stands, stiff from the cold. The river path stretches north, toward the cross on the map. He adjusts his bag, checks the compass. The needle trembles, then steadies, pointing not north, but slightly west. He frowns. The map says north. The compass says otherwise. He looks at the goat. She is already moving, following the riverbank, her bell a soft guide in the fog. Elias follows. The path is rough, stones loose underfoot. The river grows louder, its spray dampening his coat. He thinks of the visions in the cave, the burning village, the singing woman. Were they memories? Whose? The fog thickens, swallowing the mountains. Elias walks blind, trusting the goat's steps. Hours pass, or maybe minutes. Time feels soft here, like clay under fingers. Then, through the mist, a shape. A bridge, old and wooden, swaying over the river. On the far side, a figure stands, cloaked, still waiting. Elias's hand tightens on the crystal. The goat crosses first, fearless. Elias follows, boards creaking under his weight. The figure does not move. The mist swirls, hiding their face, but Elias feels their eyes, heavy as stone. He reaches the far side. The figure steps forward, hood falling back. A woman, older than him, hair gray as ash, eyes sharp as a hawk's. She holds a staff carved with the same tree and root symbol. Elias, she says, voice low, like the river itself. You carry the crystal. You carry my father's debt. He opens his mouth, but no words come. The crystal hums louder, warm against his chest. The woman's gaze moves to the goat, then back to him. You've come far, she says. But the treasure is not here. Not yet. She turns, pointing her staff toward a path that disappears into the fog. The goat starts forward, bell chiming. Elias hesitates, the weight of the crystal, the medallion, the letters pulling at him like gravity. He takes a step. The woman walks beside him, silent, her staff tapping the ground. The fog closes in, hiding the world. The fog clings to them like a second skin, cool and damp. Elias walks beside the woman, her staff marking time with soft thuds against the earth. The goat leads, her bell a steady heartbeat in the gray. The river's roar fades behind them, replaced by the hush of pines and the occasional drip of water from needles. Elias steals glances at the woman. Her face is lined like old leather, eyes bright with something between sorrow and fire. She has not spoken since her last words. He wants to ask her name, how she knows his, what debt her father carried. But the silence feels sacred, not to be broken. The path climbs. Roots twist across the trail like veins. Elias's legs burn, but he keeps pace. The crystal in his bag hums, a low vibration that travels up his spine. The medallion presses warm against his chest, as if alive. They reach a clearing. The fog thins, revealing a circle of stones, each taller than a man, arranged like sentinels. In the center, a fire pit, cold and black with old ash. The woman stops, rests her staff against a stone. The goat circles the pit, sniffs the ground, then lies down. Elias sets his bag on a flat rock. His hands tremble as he unwraps the crystal. Its glow pulses, brighter now, casting amber light across the stones. The woman watches, her expression unreadable. You feel it, she says, not a question. Her voice is soft, but it carries the weight of years. The land speaks through it. My father heard it too, in the plain, before the storm took him. Elias nods, throat tight. He wrote of a treasure, memory, debt. What does it mean? She kneels by the fire pit, brushes ash aside with her hand. Beneath, a metal box, small and rusted, its lid etched with the tree and root symbol. She lifts it, sets it between them. Open it. His fingers fumble with the latch. Inside, a bundle of letters, tied with twine, and a photograph. The same one from the plane, the woman and child, but clearer here, their smiles sharp with life. Elias's breath catches. "That's my mother," the woman says. "And me. I was 4 when he left on that flight. He promised to come back. He never did." Elias looks at her, sees the child in the photograph in the set of her jaw, the curve of her mouth. "You wrote the second letter," he says. She nods. "I've waited 30 years for someone to find the plane, the crystal, the path. The goat chose you, Elias. She always chooses." He glances at the goat, curled by the stones, eyes half closed but watchful. "Why me?" The woman unties the letters, spreads them on the ground. Each is in Thomas Reed's hand, dated over months, some smudged with rain. "Read," she says. But slowly, the land listens. Elias lifts the first letter. The paper is brittle, edges curling. To whoever finds this, it begins, same as the first he found. But this one continues, words denser, more desperate. "The crystal is a key. Not to gold, not to power. To what we stole. The mission took it from the people here centuries ago. My family kept it, hid it until I was sent to return it." He reads on, voice low. "The mission, the adobe ruins he passed, was built on sacred ground. The crystal, a relic of the old people, held their songs, their stories, their bond with the land. The missionaries took it, called it heathen, locked it away. Thomas Reed's ancestors guarded it, passed it down, until he was tasked with bringing it back." The woman listens, eyes on the fire pit. When Elias pauses, she speaks. "He was too late. The storm came, the plane fell, but he hid the crystal, left the letters, trusted the land to guide someone." Elias's fingers trace the photograph. "And the debt." She meets his gaze. "The land is sick. Look around. The rivers run low. The pines die. The crystal must return to its place, where the songs began. Only then will the debt be paid." He looks at the circle of stones, the cold pit. "Here." "No," she stands, brushes dirt from her cloak. "Farther. The place of the first song. The map shows the way, but the crystal will guide you now. It knows." Elias wraps the crystal again, tucks it close. The letters he folds carefully, returns to the box. The woman lifts her staff, points to a gap between 2 stones. Beyond, the path continues, steeper, into darkness. They walk. The fog is gone now, the sky a hard, clear blue. The air grows thinner, each breath a small labor. Elias's knees ache, but the crystal's hum steadies him, a rhythm like a hymn. Hours pass. The path becomes a scramble over loose shale. The goat picks her way with ease, bell chiming soft. The woman moves like the mountain itself, tireless. Elias follows, sweat stinging his eyes, the medallion a warm weight against his heart. They reach a ridge. Below, a valley opens, green and vast, a river glinting like a blade. In the distance, a cliff face, dark with shadow, its surface marked with carvings. Trees, goats, hands reaching toward the sky. The woman stops. "There," she says. "The place of the first song. The crystal's home." Elias squints. The cliff is far, the path down treacherous. He feels the crystal pulse urgent now, as if eager. The goat bleats, starts down the slope without waiting. The woman places a hand on his arm. "You must go alone from here. The land will test you. Trust the crystal. Trust the goat." He looks at her, searches her face. "Will I see you again?" She smiles, small and sad. "If the songs allow it." She turns, walks back toward the ridge. Elias watches until she is a speck, then gone. He adjusts his bag, checks the compass though it no longer matters. The crystal hums, pulling him forward. The descent is slow, each step a negotiation with gravity. Stones skitter underfoot, echoing in the valley. The goat waits at switchbacks, patient, her bell a guide. The river grows louder, a roar that fills his ears. At the valley floor, the air is warm, heavy with the scent of sage and pine. Elias pauses, drinks from his canteen. The cliff looms ahead, its carvings clearer now, stories etched in stone, a people's heart laid bare. He reaches the base. The cliff face is smooth, worn by centuries of wind. A narrow crevice splits the rock, barely wide enough for a man. The goat slips through first, bell muffled. The crystal burns hot in his bag. Elias squeezes into the crevice. The walls press close, cool and damp. His lantern casts faint light, revealing more carvings. Hands, eyes, a goat leading a figure into darkness. The air hums, the same note as the crystal, louder now. The crevice opens into a cavern, vast and silent. The floor is smooth, worn by countless feet. In the center, a raised stone, round like a drum, its surface carved with the tree and root symbol. The crystal's hum becomes a song, filling the space. Elias steps forward, heart pounding. The goat stands by the stone, head lowered. He unwraps the crystal, holds it up. Its light floods the cavern, revealing walls covered in paintings. Vivid, alive, scenes of planting, dancing, a goat leading people to water. He kneels, places the crystal on the stone. Fits perfectly as if made for it. The song swells, a chorus of voices not his own. The cavern trembles, dust falling like snow. Elias closes his eyes, feels the land breathe. When he opens them, the crystal is dark, its light gone. The song fades to silence. The goat nudges his hand, gentle. He stands, legs shaky, the weight of the moment heavy as stone. He looks around. The paintings seem brighter, the air clearer, but something is missing. The map, the letters, the woman's words, they promised more. The debt, the treasure, the songs. This cannot be all. He steps back, searches the cavern. In the shadows, a tunnel narrow and black, leading deeper. The goat is already there, bell chiming soft, waiting. Elias takes a breath, the air sweet with earth and promise. He follows her into the dark, the medallion warm, the path unknown. The tunnel breathes. Elias feels the air move past his face. Cool, scented with iron and distant rain. The goat's bell is a single silver note in the blackness, guiding him deeper. His lantern is nearly spent, the flame a trembling coin of light. He keeps one hand on the wall. The stone is smooth, worn by generations of palms. The floor slopes gently downward, then levels. Water drips somewhere ahead, a slow heartbeat. The medallion against his chest pulses once, twice, in rhythm with the crystal's vanished song. Elias whispers to the dark, not words, just breath shaped like a question. A faint glow appears, pale green, like moss lit from within. He rounds a bend and the tunnel opens into a grotto no larger than his village chapel. The ceiling is low, roots of ancient pines threading through like veins. In the center stands a pool, still as glass, reflecting the green light. The goat steps to the water's edge and stops. Elias kneels beside her. The pool is fed by a thin stream trickling from the rock. Each drop rings like a tiny bell. On the pool's surface floats a single leaf, gold as the medallion, turning slowly. He reaches. The leaf is soft, warm, alive. When he lifts it, the water ripples and the green light flares. Images rise in the pool, clear as memory, though none are his. A circle of people, faces painted with ochre, hands linked around a fire. A woman places the crystal, glowing then as now, into a hollow in the stone. She sings. The sound is the same hum Elias carried in his chest for days. The land answers. Grass thickens, river swells, goats multiply. The vision shifts. The same woman, older, stands before men in black robes. They take the crystal, wrap it in cloth, carry it away. Her song breaks into a cry that echoes through centuries. Elias's eyes burn. The leaf in his hand crumbles to dust, drifting onto the water. The images fade, but the pool remains luminous. He understands. The crystal was returned, but the song was broken. The debt is not the crystal. It is the voice that was silenced. The goat lowers her head and drinks. When she lifts it, water beads on her muzzle like tiny stars. She turns, bell chiming once, and walks to the far wall. A narrow fissure, barely visible, glows faintly behind her. Elias follows. The fissure is tight. He removes his bag, pushes it ahead. Stone scrapes his shoulders. The air grows warmer, fragrant with cedar and smoke. He emerges into a second chamber, smaller, circular, the ceiling open to sky. Moonlight pours down, silver and sharp. In the center stands a low stone table, ancient, scarred by fire. On it rests a bowl of polished wood, filled with ash. Beside the bowl, a single white feather, long as his forearm. The goat circles the table, then lies down, head on her paws. Elias approaches. The ash is fine, warm. He dips 2 fingers. They come away black, smelling of pine and memory. A breeze moves through the chamber, though no wind should reach here. Words form in the ash, slow as growing roots. Sing what was taken. The letters glow faintly, then sink back into gray. Elias's throat tightens. He has not sung since childhood, not since his wife died, not since the goats became his only choir. His voice is rough and used, but the chamber waits. He closes his eyes, thinks of the woman in the vision, of Thomas Reed writing in a falling plane, of the daughter who waited 30 years. He begins, not loud, a low note, cracked but true, shaped by years of wind and loss. The tune is the goat's bell, the river's roar, the crystals hum. He sings of earth, of return, of debts carried in blood and bone. The ash stirs, the feather lifts, spins slowly in the moonlight. The walls shimmer. Faint outlines of the painted people appear, translucent, watching. The goat lifts her head and answers, a soft bleat that weaves into his voice like harmony. The song grows. Elias feels it leave his chest, travel through stone, through roots, into the sleeping land. The moonlight brightens until the chamber is day. The ash rises in a gentle spiral, forming shapes, trees, goats, hands reaching. When the last note fades, silence falls, but it is not empty. It is full, like the moment after rain. The feather drifts down, lands in the empty bowl. The ash settles. The painted people fade, but their eyes linger in blessing. Elias stands trembling. The goat rises, nuzzles his hand. He looks at the bowl. The feather is gone. In its place, a single seed, small and dark, pulsing faintly like a heart. He lifts it. It is warm, heavier than it should be. The medallion against his skin flares once, then cools. He knows, without words, what must be done. The goat leads him back through the fissure, through the grotto, into the first tunnel. The lantern gutters out, but moonlight follows them now, spilling from cracks above. They emerge from the cliff face into dawn. The valley is gold, the river singing louder than before. Elias walks to the cliff's base, finds soft earth between 2 boulders. He digs with his hands, soil cool and rich. He places the seed, covers it gently, presses the medallion into the dirt above it. The metal sinks, swallowed by earth. He sits back. The goat stands beside him, bell silent. Far off, a pine sways though there is no wind. The river's song changes key, lighter, like laughter. Elias waits. Minutes stretch. Then a crack soft as a knuckle. A green shoot pushes through the soil, unfurls 2 tiny leaves. It grows as he watches, stem thickening, leaves spreading, until a sapling stands knee-high, roots glowing faintly beneath the earth. The goat lowers her head, touches the sapling with her nose. Elias feels the land breathe through him, steady and sure. The debt is not paid, it is beginning to be paid. The song is not finished, it is learning new words. He stands. The sapling shivers, drops a single needle into his palm. He tucks it behind his ear like a promise. The goat starts up the valley path, bell chiming soft again. Elias follows. Behind him, the sapling grows another handspan, leaves catching the sun. Ahead, the path curves into mist, toward the cross that is no longer marked on any map. The treasure was never a thing to hold. It was a voice to carry forward. The mist rises from the valley floor like breath from a sleeping giant. Elias walks beneath the sapling's new shadow, Its leaves already rustle with a wind he cannot feel. The goat's bell is softer now, as if the metal itself has learned reverence. He carries no bag, only the needle behind his ear and the faint green glow of the tree on his skin where the medallion once lay. The path forks. One trail climbs back toward the ridge where the woman waited. The other descends into a canyon he has never seen on any map, walls red as dried blood, floor carpeted with pine needles thick as wool. The goat chooses the canyon without hesitation. Elias follows. The air grows warmer, scented with resin and something sweeter. Sun-warmed fruit, perhaps, though no trees bear fruit this high. His boots sink into the needles. Each step releases a sigh from the earth. The canyon walls lean inward, forming a roof of stone and sky. Halfway down, the goat stops beside a trickle of water sliding from a crack. Elias kneels, cups his hands. The water is cold, tasting of snow and stone, but beneath the chill runs a note of honey. He drinks until his chest aches with fullness. When he straightens, the canyon has changed. The walls are no longer red but painted. Ochre hands, black goats, white rivers flowing upward. The paintings move, slow as clouds, telling stories older than the mission, older than the plain. A child's handprint overlaps a goat's hoof. Both shimmer with the same green light as the sapling. Elias reaches out. His palm fits the child's print exactly. Warmth floods his arm, travels to his heart, settles there like a second pulse. The goat bleats once, gentle, and the painting still. A low arch appears in the canyon wall, framed by roots thick as his thigh. Beyond it, darkness, but not empty, filled with the scent of turned earth and distant rain. The goat slips through. Elias ducks under the roots. They brush his hair like a mother's fingers. The space opens into a hollow beneath the plateau. Moonlight filters through cracks high above, striping the floor in silver bars. In the center lies a circle of turned soil, dark and rich, no larger than a grave. At its edge stands a spade, handle worn smooth by countless hands. Elias understands. He lifts the spade. The wood fits his grip as if carved for him alone. He begins to dig. The soil is soft, yielding, fragrant with life. Each scoop reveals darker earth, then something else. Fragments of pottery, a child's clay goat, a shard of mirror reflecting starlight. He digs until his shoulders burn and the hole is waist-deep. At the bottom, his spade strikes wood. He kneels, brushes dirt away with his hands. A small chest, cedar, bound with rawhide, the tree and roots symbol burned into the lid. The goat watches, eyes liquid in the moonlight. Elias lifts the chest. It is light, as if empty, yet heavy with promise. He sets it on the ground, unties the rawhide. Inside, a single object wrapped in doeskin soft as a fawn's ear. He unwraps it slowly. A flute, carved from a single piece of pine, holes placed like stars in a private constellation. The wood is pale, almost white, warm to the touch. Along its length, tiny carvings. Goats, rivers, hands. The sapling he planted now etched in miniature. Leaves unfurling. He lifts the flute to his lips. No thought, only breath. The first note is thin, uncertain, but the hollow answers, amplifying it into something vast. The second note finds harmony with the goat's bell. The third note opens the sky. Sound pours from the flute like water from a broken dam. Not melody, not yet, only truth shaped into air. The earth trembles, gentle, like a sleeper turning over. Roots above them creak, loosen dust that falls like golden rain. Elias plays. His cracked voice from the chamber earlier has become wind through pine, river over stone. The notes carry the woman's silent song. Thomas Reed's last breath, the child's handprint, the sapling's first leaf. The goat sways, eyes closed, bell chiming in perfect counterpoint. The walls of the hollow fade. He is no longer underground but standing in the circle of stones where the woman waited, though the stones are now young, newly placed. People surround him, faces painted, eyes bright with tears. The woman from the ridge is there, younger, hair still black, holding the hand of a small girl who clutches a clay goat. They do not speak. They listen. The flute sings of return, of debts beginning to balance, of songs finding their way home. When the last note fades, the people kneel, press foreheads to earth. The vision dissolves like mist in sunrise. Elias is back in the hollow. The flute is silent, warm in his hands. The chest is gone, the hole filled, the spade leaning against the wall as if it has always been there. The goat nudges his knee, starts toward a new tunnel narrower, glowing faintly with dawn. He follows. The tunnel climbs in a spiral, roots brushing his shoulders. Light grows, first rose, then gold. He emerges onto a meadow high above the valley, grass silver with dew, the sapling now a tree tall as his house, leaves shimmering though no breeze stirs them. At the tree's base, a circle of fresh earth. In its center, a single shoot, smaller than the first but strong, leaves edged in gold. The goat circles it, then lies down, bell finally still. Elias kneels, places the flute beside the shoot. The wood sinks gently into the soil, becomes root, becomes branch, becomes song. He sits back. The sun crests the ridge, flooding the meadow with light. Far below, the river glints, fuller than yesterday. Pines stand straighter, needles greener. The land is learning to remember itself. Elias closes his eyes. He feels the woman's hand on his shoulder, though she is not there. He hears Thomas Reed's voice in the wind. Carry it the rest of the way. He understands now. The treasure is the carrying. The goat rises, bell chiming once, soft as a lullaby. She starts down a new path, one that winds north, toward mountains capped with snow that was not there yesterday. Elias stands, dust soil from his hands. The needle behind his ear has become a tiny green sprout, rooted in his hair. He follows the goat. The tree waves farewell, leaves whispering the song he played. Behind him, the meadow fills with the sound of growing. Ahead, the path is unmarked, the cross no longer needed. The treasure walks with him now, in every breath, in every step, in the bell's small silver voice. The snow begins as they crest the final ridge, soft as forgiveness. Elias is older now, beard white as the peaks, but his step is light. The goat walks beside him, bell worn thin, its chime a whisper of all the miles. Behind them, the tree stands sentinel on the meadow, roots deep as memory, branches heavy with gold leaves that never fall. They reach a shelf of stone overlooking the world. Below, the valley spreads like an open hand. River bright, pines thick, villages small as seeds. The land is healed, not perfect, but breathing. Elias sets his hand on the goat's warm flank and feels her heart slow. She lies down without ceremony, curls into the curve of the rock. Elias sits beside her, pulls the sprout from his hair. Now a slender branch, leaves trembling. He plants it in a crack filled with wind-blown soil, takes root at once, grows to his knee, then his waist, then his shoulder, all in the space of a held breath. The goat closes her eyes. Her bell gives one last note, clear as the first day Elias found the plain. The sound lingers, becomes wind, becomes river, becomes the hush of snow on stone. Elias strokes her head, feels the life leave gentle as sleep. He does not weep. The snow falls thicker, covering her like a quilt. He stays until she is a soft mound, until the branch above him drops a single gold leaf onto the white. Then he stands, older than mountains, younger than the tree. Elias walks to the edge of the shelf. In the valley, lights appear. Lamps in windows, fires on hearths. People will tell the story. The nomad, the goat, the plain, the song that brought the water back. They will carve the tree and roots into doorposts, sing the flute's notes at planting time. They will not know his name, and that is right. He lifts his arms. The snow swirls, lifts him the way wind lifts ash. His body becomes light, becomes sound, becomes the gold leaf spiraling down. The leaf lands on the goat's bell, melts into it, turns the silver to gold. The bell rings once more, though no hand touches it, and the valley answers with 1,000 bells, 1,000 songs. The tree grows taller, roots threading the stone, branches cradling sky. Snow settles, soft and final. The path behind Elias is gone, erased by white. Ahead only light. Years later, a child will find the golden bell half buried in spring moss. She will lift it, shake it, hear the river, the flute, the goat's last breath, the nomad's first step. She will hang it around her own goat's neck and follow where it leads. The treasure keeps walking.